So we're doing Hulk today from the new Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok. We're gonna use a light and a dark toned green, and then we're gonna go in with black at the end. We're gonna use white paint as well to do Hulk's teeth, and we're actually gonna use a little bit of black eyeshadow to do some shading. I'm gonna start with a flesh tone pencil, sketch out a few key elements of the Hulk's face. This is just a rough sketch out. You don't have to go too detailed. Best to do it with something flesh toned or pinky because it's easy to erase and you'll be able to paint over it easy. Hulk's teeth are gonna be big teeth here, and we'll fill them out in white towards the end. He's gonna have big eyebrows, angry line there. Now, I'm gonna start with the lightest tone of green, and I'm gonna use it on a sponge. Now, you don't want too much water, but you don't want it to be too dry either. Instead of sort of smearing it on, think of it as more of a stippling action. And I'm not gonna go too much in the mouth because that's gonna be painted. I'm just doing a second layer. Using a sponge covers a big area quickly. I'm gonna go in with a darker but toned green now, and I'm gonna do a little bit of shading under the cheekbone. I'm sort of applying with one side of the sponge, and then with the clean side, I'm blending it out just a little bit. Using different shades of green on the face will give a bit more dimension than if you just used one. And it doesn't matter if it's messy because we're gonna go over with black lines and highlight. So this is still just sort of like thinking of it as your base. I'm just going back in with the light green. And now that the first layer is dried, you'll just get a little bit more coverage. We're actually gonna go in with white and do Hulk's teeth. Now it's good to use sort of like a square, flat brush because that can just be the shape of the teeth that you're doing. And don't worry if it's not perfect, because you can go back in with a brush later. We're actually gonna do a little bit of shading with a black eyeshadow. And we're pretty much gonna do this everywhere we're gonna do a black line. And you can even fill in Hulk's eyes with a bit of black powder, and that will stop it creasing up as well. When you shade on the inner part of the eye, it draws them close together and it can give that angry look. Now we're just gonna go under here because Hulk has sort of lines under his eyes. Got a bit of a line there where he's angry. Now where we contoured with some green powder, we're just gonna go with a little bit of black. This will just help change the shape of the face a little bit. The nose area, there. Now I'm gonna move on to the black line. Using a pointy thin brush, you can sort of do a little bit of eyebrow hair. Flick it upwards and you'll get nice hair strokes. If you have a good consistency of paint on your brush, you can just do little flicks like this and it will look like the texture of eyebrow hair. So what I'm doing now is just giving more definition to where we've hollowed the cheeks out. I'm not gonna do these lines yet because I think I'm gonna do the mouth first and then come back to the lines around the mouth. So now we're gonna do the mouth. Make sure you've got a good consistency with the paint that you're using. So I'm just outlining. I'm going over the line that we drew earlier with the pencil. Now you'll probably have to do 2 layers because of the white paint. The teeth are sort of rounded at the top and bottom, where they hit the gums, I should say. Now we're gonna go around the teeth, doing the shape of the Hulk's mouth. The most important thing is, what I see people doing is not enough water or too much water. So you're getting a good consistency on the brush helps. I'm just leaning on their face just to stay steady. Now I'm going to go over some of these lines that we did earlier. Now we're putting in the mouth lines. We'll definitely give it a bit more expression. Make the nostrils a little bit more angry at the ends and flared. Now I'm just going over some of the lines we've done. Get your soft eyeshadow brush and you can soften things a little bit and smudge them. He also has hair coming down. You can just paint a few in. You don't have to be perfect. I'm gonna make the eyes a little bit darker. I'm just gonna go back in with the black eyeshadow. Here we go. And there's the Hulk.